Hey yo, what the deal, my people? You know who it is. It's the Don, Tony Teflon, and this is a Game of Thrones Season 5, Episode 7, The Gift, Review, and Top Jump-Off Moments. Hey yo, and I like to say about this episode right off the back, I gotta use a quote from the greatest show ever, The Wire, and to me, this episode is like a 40-degree day, and ain't nobody got nothing to say about a 40-degree day. 50, bring a smile to your face. 60, shit. Niggas be like damn near barbecuing on that motherfucker. Now you go down to 20, niggas be on they bitch. You know what I mean? Get their blood complaining. But 40, no one give a fuck about a 40-degree day. Nobody remembers 40. And this show has given me way too many 40 fucking degree days this season. So I'm going to have to give this episode 7 because there is nothing special but nothing really terrible about it either. Just a 40-degree day. All right, so my first jump off moment is the Sand Snakes and Bronn. Well, I do not like Dorne. You know this. If you've been listening to me and know I don't like it. But at least I have to say I know why they hired this one actress. And if I was on the casting couch myself, I know I'd probably hire her too because she got some big old tatas. No doubt about it. So we see that Bronn was poisoned, and we all suspected that because they kept showing it. And then we seen this chick pull herself out and show herself around. And believe me, it's like I said, Don, I'm not gay, and I do not mind seeing naked ladies. But the bottom line is, there was no reason to really do it. And the way he got the antidote, is her throwing it across the cell and him taking it, weak. The scene was weak. Dorne is weak, but that chick is hot as hell. And that's all I got to say about that. My next jump off moment goes to Sam, the Slayer Stallone. So now we see Mace the Aemon about to die, and we see that Gilly knows that he's about to die. She has been around death. She knows about death, and she's telling Sam that he could bounce and should take care of it. But when he's about to die, he goes into some fever dream. He starts thinking about his brother Egg. Now, Egg is Aegon, and Aegon shaved his head and took the name Egg and squired for a hedge knight named Sir Duncan the Tall, so he could see how normal people lived. And he died tragically in the tragedy at Summerhall. So he's thinking back on that, and eventually he does die, and we see him laid out in the pyre. And now we see that people have predicted that was Stannis on the pyre. I told you that was not Stannis on the pyre, and it was not Stannis on the pyre, like I said. So listen to the die. Later, we see what Stannis did say would happen to his wife and his daughter if he left them happened to Gilly. And then Sam tries to get up in there, but he basically just gets ground and pounded out. But like Rocky, this man stands up, and he stands up tall. And at this point, I thought Sam was really about to kick their ass. But Ghost comes in there and saves them, and that is where that ends off. This leads Sam to bumping and grinding with Gil. Now, I thought they'd show it. Didn't know if they go through the scene, but I thought if they did show the scene, they would show it. And they show, I guess, what they need to show. And Shorty, she must got some skills because she got this dude whipped quick. I mean, she got Sam talking tongues. She got this dude's toes curled tight like that, boy. She got him locked up, boy, straight up, you know what I mean? So that's where that ends off. And that really goes down. I remember a situation I was in my life one time where I was talking to this chick, and her man was locked up for like 5 years, and he got out, and he was at the bar, and at the bar he had a couple of peoples with him, and I had to pound him out real quick. And after I did that, this chick was like, yo, man, that kind of turned me on, watching you pound this dude out. And Teflon Don got paid. So stuff like that happens. I didn't get whooped, but I got paid. So I guess Sam had to take an ass whooping. But hey, everybody takes a beating sometime. That's life, baby. And he got paid for it. So that's that jump off moment. My next jump off moment I will refer to as broke back Sansa. Now, we see Sansa bruised, battered, beaten, destroyed by Ramsay. And then you see her try to get help from Theon, and she gives this great pep talk, and you think, yes, You know, she's gonna rally this motherfucking. Theon grabs that motherfucking candle, looks up at that shit, and he starts walking. And in the beginning, when I seen him walking and he got to the top of the tower, I thought that was Ramsay at the top of the tower waiting for him. But it turned out that it wasn't. And then Ramsay takes Sansa and he tells her about Stannis approaching and how Stannis isn't, people aren't built for the snow. And then we see that the old lady is filleted. And Brienne is left staring at the tower. I didn't think they were going to kill an old lady, but they did kill an old lady and they filleted her. And I just don't know where this is heading with Sansa. As I said, only thing I could really see is that she bucked up when she heard that Jon was leading the war. So I guess maybe she could try to make an attempt for the war. I think that's where that's going. That's why. So Brienne could possibly be leading her to the war, maybe to get saved by Jon eventually if it goes down like that. All right. So my next jump off moment is the iron will of Stannis Baratheon. Now, as Ramsay has said, Stannis' situation looks bleak. The storm crows have left him. His horses are dead. They have no food. They are in harsh winter conditions that the people from Braus are not used to fighting in. And it would appear that Stannis is done for. But Mel has a secret plan, and that secret plan is something that I told you that she would suggest, and she suggested to burn Shireen for her king's blood. Now, this has been set up, and we have seen this goes down, but as soon as she does, Stannis looks at this chick and is like, you are out of your motherfucking mind. Get the fuck out. Stannis is not trying to burn Shireen. Now, I know a lot of people think, and it looks like Stannis is about to lose this battle. And it does not look good for him. For the fact that I do not believe he's going to burn his daughter. And if you think that he needs to burn his daughter to win this battle, then it does not look good on it. I did a video on who will win the Battle of Ice. And I will put a link in it so you could take a look at it yourself. And I will tell you why I believe that Stannis will win the Battle of Ice and how the Battle of Ice will play out. So anyone who does believe that Stannis' downfall is about to happen, I would ask you to go watch that video because it is playing out exactly as I have said in that video, and I did that video a very long time ago. So I'm very good with Stannis right there. And my next jump off moment is down goes Cersei. Now, the Queen of Thorn has no luck. She's going around trying to get this dude to let her family out. First, she tries money. Nothing. Then she tries food to starve him out. Nothing. They're like, we'll just go down there with the many, he says to High Sparrow. I will go down there with the many and we will take that grain if we got to. I thought this chick was about to offer up the punani in a second, you know what I mean? That was going to be her last thing. But at last, she runs into Littlefinger, who saves the day, and he offers her a gift. Now, it's weird to me that she would bring up the fact that they murdered Joffrey, but I think that they did that so that people know, if I watch the show, that this is what really happened, because it seemed like there was some contention to it, saying that it wasn't them, that someone else had something to do with it. So I hope everyone realizes who really killed Joffrey, all right? And that is done. Now, Loras, who had, not Lancel, is the gift that he has offered up. And Lancel has been there the whole time, and it really didn't. Ray Charles could have seen this shit coming. The Don seen this coming, and I hope you've seen it coming too. It's pretty easy. So after Cersei goes to Marjorie, who's looking like a creature under the stairs, this all golemly and this disgusting, and she calls her a bitch, and is smelling herself and all happy. She is taken by a room by the faithful old building by the head of the faith, the High Sparrow, and then she is grabbed up by these septons. And Cersei thought she was tough, but these chicks just manhandle her like nothing and throw her ass in the cell. But she is defiant as always and still talking shit as they slam the door shut on her ass. Cersei, you should have seen this coming a mile away. I seen it coming a mile away. And it seems like now the faith has taken over King's Landing. And it's all her fault. So, my last and final top jump off moment for this episode is Jorah, the Terminator moment. Now, first we see them basically get sold off to these slavers for the fighting picks, and Tyrion just another ground and pound situation, pounds this guy out so he can go off with Jorah. And Jorah wasn't going to say nothing. He was going to let Tyrion just stay there, but Tyrion figures a way out. And then we see his dog going on with Dany, and they're not supposed to be at this low-level tournament. No one thinks they're going to be there, but boom, they're there. And Jorah sees this shit, and this motherfucker go ape shit. This motherfucker's like, fuck the world. Gets out that motherfucker, and I'm talking this with minimum movement. This motherfucker just starts hacking through motherfuckers, sidestep dead, and just chops these motherfuckers down. And then he pulls off his helmet like he's going to look at Dany, and Dany's going to be like, oh my God, Jorah, it's you. And as I told you before, one thing you could see about Dany is when she makes a decision, she usually sticks to it. And she said it straight up, get this motherfucker out of my face. But before she could do that, Tyrion gets let go by a slaver, just lets him go, the captain. And he goes out there, and Dany looks at him like, what the fuck? Tyrion Lannister. So we see Dany finally running into Tyrion, and that is basically how the whole thing ends right there. So I think that it's a crazy thing, Dany running to Tyrion this quick. I don't know what to think of it, and don't know where it's gonna go. But those are my jump off moments. Overall, just like I said, this episode was just like a 40-degree day, man. It's just, and the whole season has been like it. And it's just, and unfortunately, I'm hoping that it's going to get better. I'm sick of the excuse they're building. I'm sick of this building shit. I just want them to get going. So if you like the way I do this, please subscribe, thumbs up this, like, tell your friends about me, spread this across the room. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace. Stay sexy.